Hi everyone, this is Anjanette from AJ's Personal Touch. Um, I'm here to share just a couple things. It was just going to be, I've got my first Happy Mail and an order that I have in. I had two orders, but the one came in really messed up and it's from Joann's, and I had to call them today and they are going to send me out the same order all over again. They refunded my money and said that they would get it sent out. So I'll show you that when I get the order in that's not messed up. Uh, this one, it looks like they just threw it in a box. Um, and in the traveling, they didn't put any padding or anything in it, and maybe a heavier box got put on top of it. When I got it, somebody had tried to retape it up. It had the Joann's tape still across the top, but it wasn't like the way it should be. It looked like it had been pulled back or something heavy had been put on it to make the tape come off. And then there was packing tape that was put across it the other way. But then half of my yarn, actually over half of the yarn that I ordered is missing. And what was in there stuck to the tape because it's got tape marks on it. It's got dust on it. Doesn't look the best. I will wipe it off and everything. I'm sure I'll still use it. Um, I got the yarn basically for amigurumis, Christmas presents for my daughter. So I can't wait until it gets here because I'm ready to start them. Um, at least I think I'm ready to start them. Another thing is a little update on myself and what's been going on. I wanted to take this when the bags came in the other day. Um, which I can't remember now if it was Friday or Saturday. I believe it was Saturday because I went to the doctor Friday. I do have something going on. Well, I may have something going on in my kidneys. Um, he said it's presenting kind of as musculature, but I also just had my lower back checked out, and I do have slip discs or engorged discs in my last lumbar and first two sacral um, parts of my spine. So, so yeah, dealing with that, which is very, very painful. But the kidneys are is what's extremely painful. I can trying to hold myself in a way where I'm not hurting. So I know I look kind of weird going like this with my arms. Um, when I sit up, it hurts really, really bad. If I'm up against a pillow, it hurts really bad. If somebody would come and touch me right now, in my back in the area where my kidneys are, I would jump sky high. I have not been able to sit up in days, so that's why I have not taped yet. I have to go to Indianapolis tomorrow, which is about 3.5, 4 hours away, depending on if there's construction, and whatnot. We never used to have a direct way there, but they have changed that in the last couple of years. They've made 31 a straight, pretty much straight way there from South Bend down to there. Um, but otherwise, it used to take 4 to 5 hours. Now, where my appointment is downtown Indy, so it can take 3 to 4 hours, like I said, depending on the traffic and if there's construction somewhere. So we got to get up in the morning and leave early for that. But I did want to share this with you before tomorrow because I don't know how long I'm going to be laid up after that. Um, I'm going for a fill on my pain pump, and I usually get pretty wore out just from the ride down and back. And considering that I'm riding down and back in a ton of pain, I expect to be really, really wore out after I get home. But then on Thursday, just the day after, which is normally my day to sleep and take care of myself, I have to go and get an ultrasound of my kidneys, um, which doesn't sound too bad, except for can't remember if it's a half an hour before I go or an hour before I go, I have to drink 20 ounces of fluid. Um, at first I was told water, and I have a hard time with just water. But then when I read the update of what they sent me, it says I can drink coffee, tea, water, juice, whatever I want. But I have to drink 20 ounces, and I cannot use the restroom, which is going to be hard because with this infection, although I've been on meds now for a while, I need to get up and use the restroom a lot, even though I don't always really need to go. Um, I know, little TMI, but there you go. Um, Plus, I have a flare-up of my chronic pancreatitis starting, and yeah, it's just been pretty painful around here. My pain pump has not been helping with the pain. Um, when I get a flare-up, it normally doesn't. I don't know why it's not helping with the kidney pain, but it's just horrendous. I've been getting some migraines from it and things. So yeah, I've been pretty laid up all weekend through today. The only time it doesn't hurt me is I've been laying on the couch flat on my back. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. I haven't been able to crochet really or anything until tonight. Um, I was going to film this about an hour ago, and my computer, the camera part just was not working. Um, it would like film a little bit and then stop and hesitate, and film and have stop and hesitate. So I'm like, okay, I need to restart my computer because I haven't restarted it in a couple days. And I have been watching a true crime channel on YouTube while I've been laid up. So I'm like, okay, it needs restarted because I haven't restarted it in a while. So it didn't just need restarted, it needed to be updated as well. So I was sitting here waiting. So I have what I thought was going to be whipped, but it's actually a finished object because it didn't take me long at all to make. I've never made one before, so I didn't know what to expect. I know they're tiny, so I thought maybe I'd at least get most of it done. Oh, hold on a second. The TV turned back on. I had a program I was watching on pause, and which last time it stayed off, but this time it did not. But anyway, I made this. It is a bun cover. And I've been wanting to make one because I wear my hair back in buns a lot. I just showered tonight, so it's down. But especially in the summertime, I put it up in a bun a lot. And I had saw this on Darn Good Yarn and liked it, and had bought it. They had it on clearance or something. And I didn't think they were going to get it in again, but they did. So I have another color of their silk yarn to use. It's my first time using it. It's okay. Not the best yarn I've ever used, but it is kind of roving, and that was kind of nice. But there you go. It's just a basic bun cover. Um, it's called, got it right. Where's My Hook bun cover? Because when they showed the person wearing it in the Darn Good Yarn ad, they show a crochet hook through it, which they don't send with it. I thought that it was coming because it says, it's a kit. You get the pattern, you get the yarn, which this is what I have left, and I'm pretty sure I have enough to make another one. So I make another one and send to one of my friends. But it's pretty yarn. The other yarn I got, I think, is when I bought it the second time, is what I wanted the first time. I think it's a pink and a green. Um, it's called Paris or something like that. But anyway, yeah, I went ahead and made this one. The other one I'll probably make for next summer. I might even wear this tomorrow when we go to the doctor's office. So I got that done. I didn't know that I had to make a tie for it, which is nice because I was trying to figure out how I was going to stay on since I didn't have, the hook for it like I thought I was going to have. Oh, and this pattern is by, looks like Koryn Wiley, and she's at A Cup of Crochet. I hadn't heard of her before, but this is her pattern. I'll try to remember to write that below. But again, it's what it looks like. I did kind of wrap my hair up earlier and see if it how it would fit in it, and it felt, you know, kind of cool. I do have some older hooks, and I'm thinking maybe I'll wear it that way, but I don't know because I mean, crochet hooks are kind of long. I don't know if I want to put one through or not and have it sticking out so long. Maybe sometime when I go out, but not tomorrow, since I'm going to be in the car for so long and I'm going to be hurting. I'm going to want to put the seat back, you know, and lay back. It's probably not going to be the best time to put a hook in it, and I wouldn't want to lose it, even though, you know, they're hooks that I don't use. My husband gave me a whole set of boy hooks, and I'm a Susan Bates person, but I don't know if it'll be out of that set because I'm actually thinking of possibly giving that set away. Or a friend of mine wants to learn how to crochet. She crocheted when she was younger with her grandmother, and she used boy hooks. So I may give this set to her. I haven't decided yet. But I do have a couple of boy hooks that I had to get when I lost one of my hooks, one of my Susan Bate hooks. And most of the stores around here, we have Meijer, we have Walmart, um, especially at night when I realized I needed a hook if I'd start something or I wanted to go work on a whip and I couldn't find the hook. Lots of times it was after, you know, Michael's or someplace would be closed. So I would go to Walmart, or I'd go to Meijer because they're both open 24 hours. And they both tend to have Susan Bate, not Susan, excuse me. They both tend to have just the boy hooks. So, I would get them to use them until I could replace it with a Susan Bates hook, or until I found it. Sometimes I found them. So now on to, I have two Hirschner's bags here. One I ordered, and the other was Happy Mail. My first Happy Mail, which I'm really excited about, and it was sent to me by a friend. Her name is Carol. I want to say her last name right, so let me open it up. Carol Meinhardt, which is how I believe you say it. Um, she's a sweet friend. I met her on a blessings page that we both belong to. We learned that each other loved to crochet. We became really good friends. We became friends on Facebook. Um, we've started talking, you know, and things. She wants to start her own channel next year. So when she does, I will make sure to mention it and have you guys go check her out. And she wants to start her crochet business. So I'm excited about that. And I think I'm going to show you my bag first. I opened them. Hers, I did, the one she sent me, I did look through it a little bit and I messaged her because it looked like my Joann's box did. It looked like it had been opened and somebody retaped it. So I just wanted to make sure that everything that was supposed to be in there was in there. Because I would hate to be showing the contents on here, have her watch, then have her say, wait a minute, there's supposed to be more. Um, so I just wanted to make sure that it was all there. Okay, so let me see. First up, what am I feeling? A box. What does it say? Okay, I got, Red Heart was having a good sale, but this has been in their clearance for a while because I've been wanting to get it, but I never really liked the colors that they had. I mean, they had a really pretty bright yellow. They still do. And you know me, I love yellow. But this is called Red Heart Sizzle yarn. I've never had it before. Trying to open this box. Also, just did my nails tonight, so I don't want to mess them up because I'm trying to be careful. But they had, when I looked at it, they had bright yellow, like a bright teal, a bright, really bright pink, and they weren't colors that I wanted to put in my makes. This is ivory, and I like this because when I have my yellow yarn or my yarns from Knit Picks or someplace and I want to add a little bit of sizzle to them, make them look a little bit more metallic-y. I thought these were going to look maybe a little more, what's sparkly. Maybe when I take it off, the wrapper off, it will. but it's a perfect size, I do believe, to add to yarn. And I'm used to holding my yarn like I've done 2 at a time. I'm gonna make a rug where I'm gonna hold like 6 strands together. So, you know, it's nothing for me to hold some strands together. I have a little angel that I make that I send to people that I care about a lot. I have it. I have one shown on my regular page. I didn't want to mess up this whole way. I have a box, so I can put it back in the box. Let me see where this starts and ends, because I know I really wanted to see what it looked like, and I'd never seen it before, and I figured some of you probably wanted to see what it looks like as well, if you've seen it and thought, hey, I might want to get that. I'm trying to find where I put my scissors. I got so many pair, because to look at this right now, it looks like it's more of a tape yarn, but it looks like it's just wrapped that way, which I guess is pretty cool that they can wrap it in a way that it looks thicker than what it really is. This does not want to go underneath. I don't want to cut through more than one. There's a knot here, but I can't get it to pull up on it for me. Sorry about this. I didn't know that I was going to open it to try and show it, but I figured when I really couldn't tell, I should. Maybe. I got my needles over here. If I try to slip a needle underneath it, I will have a little better luck. Since I just made that, I have these still sitting out. There we go. Ah, it pulled it off for me. I didn't have to cut it at all. That is even better. Let me see. I don't want to leave this. There it is. I have my peppermint needle keeper from Furls, which I believe they sold out of these, but they had these peppermint swirl ones at Christmas time. I fell in love with it and just had to get it. I always thought I would never get one of those needle keepers, but I am so glad I did because I love this. My friend meant to order the big one and got the small one, and she said she really likes it, so I'm thinking of getting one of those too to keep like in my purse and that. But right now, while I'm thinking about it, and it's right here, and I made sure it was filled since I have a project I'm taking with me on the road tomorrow. What I have in my purse, everybody always has a little something with their stuff in it that they need. The only thing that not go in this, and of course it doesn't want to be found now. And I'm all over the place. You have to forgive me. I haven't talked to anybody in a while, so I am just jumping all over the place. The only thing that can't fit in this is a regular hook. And now I know it's in here because I found it to make sure it was in here. There it is. I just had to move my papers out of the way. I use Slow Godiva tin. My husband gets me chocolate Godivas. They're little teeny tiny chocolate balls, and I eat like 2 or 4 of them at a time, and it gives me just the right amount of taste of dark chocolate that I need. And I don't need any more. And this one will last me a good month, sometimes a month and a half. He usually gives me 2 or 3 of them in my stocking every year. I have a couple empty ones, but I've got my foldable scissors in there that I got from Annie's, and they still have more. I bought a set, and then I sent one pair of the scissors to my really good friend Nadine, and then I bought another set so that I can make a couple of these to put in different little little bags when I have them. This one I have really, really full. I just got this bag. This was part of my Make and Mend order, which I'm pretty sure that I showed you in my last taping, but you know what? It was still sitting here in a bag, so maybe I didn't. But this was part of it. And I've got yarn that I have showed you before in there to take to make washcloths. So I have that. I have my darning needle, and then I have some stitch markers. Just regular stitch markers, the different colored ones that I have in here. Just so if I want to take something and I'm only going to the doctor's office, I don't have to take a bigger make bag, and I'll have my essentials for when I make something already in the tin and already ready to go. If I put that in all the way, there we go. Didn't want to set in here correctly. There we go. It's just in there, and it's nice and secure. The lid goes on secure. And then tomorrow I'll take this bag. I've already got the hooks in here, and I'm just going to put it inside of my purse because my purse is big enough. And then I'll have everything in there that I need to work on the washcloths, except for the book that I'm going to take. I got this book called 350 Plus Crochet Tips, Techniques, and Trade Secrets from a book outlet store, but they're all out of it because they were down to like 2 copies when I got this one. Otherwise, I'd give you all the information, but I already know they're out of it. And I have not really been able to go through this book a whole lot yet. I know it tries to give you tips on designing like your own scarf and things, and it gives you some different stitches and things. So I figured I would go through here, and I've got washcloths to make for my cousin, and I've got the yarn in there, and I'll just make them. I'll figure out what stitch I want to use, and I'll just make them on a go. But anyway, this is, now that I'm off my tangent, how big the thread is. It is kind of sparkly. It's not picking it up that well. So yeah, I figured I could add that. There's 3 of them that came in a box. The one thing about Hirschner's is they do not give you, I'm trying to see if this has on the top or bottom, like they do on thread spools, a place to put the yarn to catch it, but it looks like they do not. But to add it with yarn and to add, you know, just a pop of another color with it. So it was 3 spools. I want to say it was $1.97 for all 3 of them. Or you can buy them singly, and they're like 98 cents a piece, I believe. But yeah, they're Red Heart Sizzle Ivory, 100 yards, 91 meters per spool. Size, does this say? Just the 100 yards. Sorry, my alarm's going off now. Since I took the label off of that one. It's 100% nylon. It says it's a number 2. And you should use a 2.25 millimeter crochet hook with it. The specs on that one. Put this back in here. If I need to save my labels for something. I've been trying to save my labels to see how much yarn I use, but I wasn't doing it towards the beginning of the year. It's something I'm probably going to do for next year to make sure that I have them all. Okay, on to the next thing in the bag, which I got another order of sizzle yarn, but this one, for whatever reason, is not in the box. I expected it to come in the box. So that one was ivory. Oh, and this one, if I would have known, I already showed what the yarn was like in it. And it doesn't look like it's off of that spool. That's weird. It was just stuck to it. This is white. So I got ivory and white. I I do have to make another order because there's some yarn that I wanted for Christmas that I thought was coming in the order, and it's not. I forgot to order it, so I will need to go back and order it because I made some things for my nephew and for his girlfriend, who is now his fiance, and last year, and I wanted to match. I made him a muffler, man cowl, whatever you want to call it. He works for UPS. He drives for them. And so I knew he'd get really, really cold in the winter. And I made him that for Christmas, and he loves it. So I'm thinking of making him a matching. The next thing I got was the Muir Woods from Premier. I've been hearing Cinnamon Stitches talk about this, and it's one of her favorite yarns. I really wanted to get the blackberry. They were out of it. But they had it on a really good deal. It said, let me see. I don't think the prices are. Oh, I'm wrong. I am wrong. The three on the Red Heart Sizzle were $1.47 a box. Like I said, right, if you get them by themselves, they're like 90 some cents. They might be down to 80 some cents now, but it was still cheaper. I knew to get it, three of them in a box. So yeah, those were down to $1.47. See where this is. This is the Premium Muir Woods, and I got this for $10.17. They were $3.39 a ball, $10.17 for the bag. And this one is the color Coho. And I don't really want to take it out of the bag right now. And you can tell, it's different colors. It's all the same color, all the same dye lot, but that middle one is wrapped differently. Browns and pinks and ivories and white and a tan. There's a golden color in there. This is wrapped different than the color that I had seen when I looked at it online. So yeah, here you can see that middle one. There's golden flecks in there. That's popping out of there perfectly. You can see it. So I got a 3-pack of those. Not sure exactly what I'm going to make with it, but I was thinking that those are almost perfect colors for my mom, even though she loves her teals and her blues. She also likes her browns, her lighter reds, her lighter pinks, and that. So I got Red Heart Super Saver in the color Iran, and it was $3.99. I got this because there's amigurumi that I want to make. I needed some white worsted weight, white or off-white. I prefer to work with off-white than white. And I needed some. It was a decent price. I don't keep a lot of white and off-white on hand. I needed a 4-weight. I found that I had some medication name came to mind and not the thread weight. The I can't think. And I'm going to be screaming at myself later because I use it all the time. Not the sport weight, but the one above sport weight. The number 3. So this is the number 4 yarn, the number 3 yarn. I have some of that. Some of the 3 weight, but I didn't have the 4 weight. And I have a pattern that calls for the 4 weight. I have a baby lovey that I want to make. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it out of that or not, because I'd rather use softer yarn, but that was one of the things. Now this fell out of the packaging. I could tell something fell out of the packaging. Wasn't sure what it was. That's the one thing I hate about them using bags is you never know if things are going to be actually in their package or not. This is a Susan Bates with the bamboo handle. I'd seen somebody else where she said she really didn't like them, but then I saw Yarn Geek Talk and she likes them. and I had already ordered one to try it, and I fell in love with the one that I had. It gives me just enough of a handle. Of course, my furls are my favorite hooks, but it gives me just enough handle to make it a little bit more ergonomic on my hands, especially for the little tiny hooks, which is what I'm tending to get in these. And in the other ones, I know some people say they don't feel as ergonomic to them either. The ones that have the hard plastic, it looks like it'd be softer, but it's a little bit harder. But it's just a little bit more than what's on the tiny hooks, and it makes it a little bit easier for me to use. And now these are the types of hooks that I'll use in the car when we're going places. I have a bamboo hook in that bag for what I'm going to do tomorrow. Actually, I have a couple different sizes in there. So I have some that are all bamboo. I have a couple of Susan Bates with the bamboo. I have one Susan Bates with the bamboo handle, which I had as a size 8. And then I have a regular Susan Bates, which is an I, because I'm not quite sure which hook I'm going to use because I haven't figured out what pattern I want to use yet. So I put a couple different sizes in there to pick from. And the very last thing in mine is one of these DC Top This. I got the teddy bear. And I want to make this into a lovey. I have a friend who just had a baby boy, and I really wanted to make her this into a lovey. I'm not going to use it as a hat. I am going to use it as a lovey. Which I still might do and try to make the other one that I want to make her for Christmas. Her and I both love red pandas, and I want to make her a red panda one. I don't think she watches me on here. I doubt she watches me on here, which is why I'm going to go ahead and say what I want to make her. And if her mom happens to have a chance to watch me, she's usually so busy. Her mom is my best friend, but it's weird because her daughter and I were friends before I met her mom. So I'm friends with both of them. And yeah, she just had a baby boy. She's who I made the blue baby bunting for that I showed, the cocoon that I showed in my last one. And he turned out to be just a little bit bigger in size than I expected. So I think I'm going to add another row to the edging on the cocoon because I just want to make sure that it lasts a little bit longer for them. I'm just putting this all back in the bag right now. I think except maybe for the hook because I'll just go ahead and toss it. It's falling apart. Now I want to get to my Happy Mail. And I just want to show you really quick, in case I didn't show it last time in the Make and Mend, because I can't remember. Make and Mend is like a it's like a thrift store, but you can go there online. And now that I'm talking about them, I do think I did show it because I said the only thing that keeps me from ordering from them more because they have some amazing, amazing yarn on there. They've had Knit Picks yarn, they've had Malibu Rigo, they've had hand-dyed yarn, which Malibu Rigo usually is when you see it. I've never touched a hank of Malibu Rigo, so the Barocco, you name it, I think I've seen it. I think I've actually seen Norco on there once, but I put on a couple card things because I wanted to buy some cards, and even those came up at like $13 shipping. And they tell you that if they don't use what you pay for shipping, they will refund it to you, which is fine and great. But if I'm only going to buy a couple cards, I really can't afford that much on my income, to add to the shipping. And on something normal, I can't afford it that much. But when I find something that I know it's a really, really good price, and then I put the shipping into it, I will. Like if it's something that they've put on sale, because there's some things like Super Saver, and they'll sell them at $2 a skein, which is fine, and especially if it's a full skein. But if it's not, they tend to put the non-full skein also at $2. So sometimes 3, and sometimes it's kind of close to what you would pay for things that are Lion brand. or Premier or something. And so I'm like, well, once I add it with the cost for shipping, it's going to be just like if I went to the other site and got it brand new, never been in anybody else's hands. Um, it's not going to, have a smell from the home, or whatever, which smells fine. What I got was two of these Mandela cakes in the cool colorway, and it's 100% acrylic. And I got these because my daughter, as you've all heard before, she loves black, and I'm thinking of making her, since I have two of these, I'm thinking of making her a scarf, maybe a pocket scarf, maybe even a shawl, but I don't think she's not really the shawl type person. She's more of um, t-shirts in her pants, graphic t-shirts. So I think I made her, well, I know I made her a cat silhouette hat last year with black sparkle yarn. So I'm thinking of making her uh, a scarf with this. Now I made her a black scarf a couple of years ago, one that was really, really long, and you could wrap it a lot and it would still hang down. She's like 5 foot, if that. She might be 4.8 foot or 4.9, but she might be just at 5 foot, depending on what doctor you ask. They all said a different thing. So um, she's tiny, and when she was younger, she didn't used to like that, but now she's fine with it, and she's sassy. And you know, she just she works used to work at Target. Now she works at a factory, and so she just likes to go home and put on her t-shirts and stuff, and she doesn't get dressed up very often. And so I usually, if I see something for her that's a wearable, I'll ask her first. Now she did get the very first thing I ever made that was like a garment, and it was a vest. I fell in love with it, and at one point in time she liked it, and when she got it she liked it. But right now, where she's at, I asked her if she still wears it, and she said no. So my feelings aren't hurt though, because I know at the time that I made it and when I had first shown it to her, she said that she liked it. But I do tend to show her things before I get them. Okay, on to my happy mail, which is making me really happy just seeing parts of it in here. Again, this is from my friend Carol Meinhardt. She asked me the things that I liked, and she knew I was looking at Hirschner's, and I was looking at their sale, and as we were talking on the phone the one night, I was going, oh, they have this on sale, and they have that on sale, and not knowing really at first that she was going to order it for me, and then later, she was like, yeah, I want to put it in order. So I was like really excited. She got me this Bloom Chunky, and I already have one ball of this, and at the time that I got it, I thought that it would go a lot farther than it does, and I could really only afford one. And this is the colorway. I know it says it on here somewhere. These I cannot give you a price because, it was a gift. So they didn't put the prices on it because I'm sure she put on there it was a gift. So this is Snapdragon. I have very fond memories of Snapdragons. I'm sure you guys all know the specs on these. I'm sorry, I'm not so good on the specs tonight because I am in a ton of pain and I'm trying to hurry. I don't know if you can tell, but my cheeks are getting redder and redder. And the redder they get is the more pain that I'm getting in. Um, but anyway, when I was little, growing up, we had these neighbors who lived maybe 3 doors down, and it was an older couple, and I just loved them so much. I cannot remember their name anymore. I mean, I was just a little girl. I'm sure I started going down there like when I was around 6, if even that, because I lived in this house, I think, my entire life. I don't think I lived anywhere else with my parents. My brother did. Um, and then they moved. But I lived in this house my entire life, if you believe, until we moved when I was in second grade. But I used to go down to her house in the springtime, and I remember at first I would be out and I would help her husband sometimes plant flowers, and then she would come out and I would sit and I would talk to her and just talk, 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 talk. Because I'm sure you can tell already I'm a talker. And when I was little, I was even worse. I mean, I just, once I got to know him, I was extremely shy. I was one of those little girls who I would hold on to my dad's pant legs and just wrap my arms around his leg and hold on to him for dear life because I was shy and scared of everybody. But once I got to know you, talk your head off. So I'd sit there and just talk and talk and talk. She always had edging her driveway snapdragons. And if for some reason she didn't feel well enough to go out there and plant them, her husband would go out there and plant them. And I would help them. So snapdragons have always meant the world to me. Anytime I see them, it reminds me of being little, and it reminds me of helping them plant snapdragons. So whatever is made out of this is for me. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to make because now I have 4 balls. And I like to make a hat and a scarf. And I have a light blue coat, so that would go with it. But right now, it wouldn't be made for me until after Christmas, unless I just take a break sometime, because everything I'm making right now is for Christmas that I'm starting to make. If not for Christmas, I might make something to give to my daughter for Halloween. But I may have Halloween items that I'm making for her that I give her for Christmas, because I believe I've said before, she does decorate her house in Halloween all year round. Well, her apartment right now. They're looking for a house. Now, the other thing in here is a 3-pack of Bernat Softy Chunky. And this is called Taupe Twist. And I love the earthy. That way, so you can see it's Bernat here. I love anything with the twisty, tweety look. And when I first saw this and the price on it, I had thought of making a hat for my nephew out of this, even though it wouldn't quite match what I made him last year. But then I saw that the other was on sale, and then I thought, no, I need to get that and make it out of that. So then this, I'm thinking maybe a hat for my husband. I also made him like a muffler type thing, but his was even for closer up. He works outside during the day. He's an engineer at the high school. So he does a lot of shoveling the snow, cutting in the summertime, cutting the grass and that. But in the wintertime, he's outside a lot. He's the first person there, like in the mornings. He's got to shovel the sidewalks and everything before everybody comes in. So I'm going to make sure he is nice and toasty and warm. He's got a bigger sized head, and he can never find hats that fit him right. And either that, he said, or because they fit so close, they overheat. They make him overheated really, really bad. Actually, I guess I didn't make him a scarf thing. I made him ear warmers, is what I made him. And measured his head and everything to make sure that they would fit. But I'm thinking either a muffler, a round muffler. He's not a scarf like type wearing person. That's what he says makes him sweaty. Too sweaty is a scarf, plus a hat if they're too close to his head. But it's going to be a hat, or it's going to be one of those circular, more muffler type, scarves. And he can take it off if he gets too hot. It'll be easy enough for him to put in his pocket. Is that? Now the last things in here are DMC's Traditions thread. And this is, oh, I forgot to tell you. Sorry, see the stats? I'm just going from my head. It's 100% acrylic, 2.8 ounces, 80 grams, and 84 yards per each skein on here. So 84 times 3, 3 times 4 is 12, 252 yards. So I should be able to do something nice with that. This is DMC Traditions thread, 100% mercerized crochet cotton, color fast. This is the color on here. It's a size 10. It just says that it's color 5109. Now let me see. Is this the one from hers? No, that's the one from mine. If the colorway is on here. Nope, it just says 5109. But it's, see it, it's a whole bunch of like baby colors, yellow and green and purple and pink and blue. So I want to make, I've said before, I have some other thread that I'd gotten when it was on sale, and I want to make some like baby headbands. There's also a doily that I want to make. That's like one that I made for my grandma. Has an angel on it, but that wouldn't be for this one. She got me two of that color, and then she got me two ecru. Now, if I make the angel, I would make it out of the ecru. That's what I made it for my grandma with. But I can't remember what size cotton I used. I think it was bigger than a 10. I think maybe it was a 30. It seemed bigger, but it's been a long time since I made it. I don't remember. I do know that I still have um, the crochet um, magazine that it came in. So I still have the pattern. So let's see, there's two of those. Two of those and two of those. Closer so you can see. Ivory and then the baby colors. But yeah, I have little toddler girls in my life. No baby girls right now. But I was thinking doing headbands would be nice. And when I hopefully start selling more product. Last year I sold a couple things for Christmas, which is why I want to get started on my Christmas stuff right now in case somebody else wants to order for me for Christmas. See some of the things that I'm making and would want to order something, then I can have mine done. And plus, I'm this close to be done with my tech editing class. And if it wasn't for being laid up this week, I should have been done already. I need to get a hold of somebody who was going to help me with one little thing I was having an issue with. But until she can help me with it, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to finish off the last two little sections so that I can be done with that. And then do my final phone call with the instructor, and then start doing a couple test patterns for some people just so they could test me out and then be able to give me a recommendation and one that I can, put on if I start a newsletter or if I start something, I, can put what they say in there. If they liked it, if their critique, whether they liked my work, if they didn't like it, I'm sure I wouldn't put it in there. But I'm going to get an honest critique and, have them, put it on my page on Facebook and stuff. So that's everything. I feel like I've been talking a mile a minute. I hope I wasn't talking too fast. If I was, I do apologize. Some of these things are still on clearance that came from the clearance part of Hirschner's. Because like I said, I did go to see if their twill yarn was still there, and it is. I'm just hoping it's still there at the beginning of the month, because since I forgot to get it, I have no money left this month, and there are a couple Christmas boxes and different things out that I would like to be able to get. I haven't been able to afford it, so yeah. But I need to get that so I can make everything like really soon. So, but the earliest I can afford it would be the beginning of the month. So, it's on my plans to do, and then I'll have stuff to make for my nephew and then for his fiance, because they have a purple tweed one, and I made her a infinity scarf last year. So I figured I could make the hat, and it should be close. The color they have, I think, is close enough to the purple I used last year. So yeah, they should be able to go together. And eventually, I am thinking, and I know they don't watch this, but if she would like a shawl or something for her wedding, I'd like to make her a bridal shawl. So I am looking for a nice pattern for that. So if you happen to have made one that's not too hard, I've never made a shawl before. I was gonna try to make my first one for this month because that's what Yarn Hookers their challenge is for the month and their giveaway. But I don't think I'm gonna have enough time since I've been laid up. I did want to take it with me to start it tomorrow, but I want to make it with a furls hook, and I will not take a furls hook in the car. So when I'm working with yarn that is from Knit Crate and that, I want to use a better hook. I don't want to use my Susan Bates, which, I mean, it's fine if that's all I had, but I do have a nicer hook. And I'm thinking of making, if I do make a shawl this month, it's going to be the shawl out of the Crochet Foundry magazine, because I just got their fall magazine and I really, really like the shawl. I really like the poncho too. So I may be making the poncho for myself for next year. Although I think my mom would be able to use a poncho too. Especially when, like, maybe when she's outside gardening. I don't know if it was made too long, if it would get in her way, because I know coats can get in her way sometimes. So I don't know. We'll see. I know sometimes she just needs to go outside to walk the dog real quick, and a poncho would be nice for her instead of having to, get on her coat and everything, get it zipped up. Just throw on a poncho, walk outside, be warm enough, and walk the dog. So anyway, tons of ideas running through my head. And one thing about looking through this book tomorrow and figuring out my own washcloth is I also am hoping to start designing some of my own things. So I have already started changing things around, like on one of the hats um, that I made for Hat Not Hate. I changed some things around. Um, for the baby bunting thing, I changed a little bit around. So yeah, I like to change things around, put my own little stitch in there or change things up somehow. And I know that's the first way you can get started on designing. So not quite sure I'm there yet. And I have so many patterns of things that I want to make that I really have no reason to design my own thing. But as I go through patterns, I do like to change things. So yeah, we'll see. The two tester things that I made this year, the first one, there really wasn't anything I wanted to add or change on that. But the second one, I had wanted to in the body. I had wanted to. It was all double crochets once you got past the arms for the rest of it, or it's either double or half double. And I kind of wanted to put some other kind of stitches in there, like maybe a lacy stitch for a row or two, or just something to put my stamp on it. But since I was testing for somebody else, you can't put your own stamp on it because you're testing for them. So, and I do like to do that kind of stuff too. And it's my dream that someday I will be able to do a sample crochet for Mace of Skeins. I love, love, love her yarn. Um, I love her podcast, if you want to call it a podcast. Some people call these podcasts. I don't. For me, podcasts are what you can listen to on your phone or on the radio, or whatever. Although I do tend to like to watch mine on YouTube versus listening to them. But I watch her all the time, and I'm actually a Patreon of hers, and I am so in love with her. I'm in love with her. I'm in love with Rebecca of Chemnitz. If it wasn't for Rebecca of Chemnitz, I wouldn't know how to dye my own yarn. I showed you the yarn that I dyed. I did get it all caked up now. I actually used some for the hearts that needed to go out that I showed you I was making. Um, Now that I think about it, I don't think I took pictures of the other two that I made. I just got them together, put them in the envelope, and sent them on their way. Um, I really wanted to take pictures of those. Well, I forgot. Um, but anyway, I'm ending this for tonight. I will be back as soon as I can. Not sure exactly what I'll bring you. It'll probably be finished content or whips in progress. I have that baby blanket I've got to get done as well. My niece is getting married, so I'd like to have it done to take with us to the wedding at the end of the month. So, love you guys, and always remember that you matter. That no matter how down you feel, because we all get there, especially those of us who have chronic illnesses, who can't change, who have terminal illnesses. I mean, I'm dealing with both. So, I've watched other podcasters who are dealing, you know, with chronic illnesses too and stuff that they can't change. Just remember you matter. You matter to me, and you matter to people around you. And I'm always going to be here for you. So if you need me, like I've told you all before, you can email me. You can send me messages, IMs on Facebook or on Instagram. Just get a hold of me. I'm here for you. Or if you just want to rewatch my videos, you can do that too. Just know that I am always here for you, and I always will be. So, have a good night. Have a good rest of your week, and hopefully, I will be back and talking to you soon. Night.